All right, we are back with another Prize Picks video. As you can see, it is Taco Tuesday. We got about 40 minutes left on this Nola taco. We're definitely going to talk about him and jump right into these MLB picks. We got Phillies versus Diamondbacks game 2. So I'm liking a couple of these pitchers, a couple of these hitters, and we'll talk about some stacking as well on top of the video picks. So if you're new to the channel, definitely go ahead and subscribe. Like the video, helps it out a lot. And leave a comment down below. Let me know if you're tailing these picks, if you love them, if you hate some of these picks. I love hearing what you guys have to say. But let's jump right into it so you can see this video before this taco goes away, because he is going to be our first pick. I'm liking the taco, and I like to kind of show my reasoning behind it, the analytics behind my picks, and you guys ultimately decide if you like them or not. But let's jump into Aaron Nola, minus 310 on this over 4.5 line because of the taco. He has faced this Diamondbacks team once this year, and he got back in June, it looks like, and he got 9 Ks. So in the 6.2 innings he pitched, he was averaging a 12.15 strikeouts per 9, which we really like to see. In terms of the specific matchups, as you can see, some of these guys hitting them decently well. So decent amount of green in here, but you can get a few hits off you while racking up some Ks. So really liking this taco. Again, this is the head-to-head. The last 20, he's gone over this line in 17 of 20. So absolutely ridiculous history here. And yeah, again, really liking it. The only thing I'd maybe say, oh, hold on, wait, is that the Diamondbacks are, one of the better teams in not striking out. But yeah, that's going to be something that we like. Again, the odds are crazy on this 4.5. So definitely go ahead and take advantage of that taco with confidence. Next up, we're going to be talking about Merrill Kelly, though. He's going to give me the first combo. We're going over his strikeouts as well. I'm liking both of the pitchers tonight. Merrill Kelly. Let's go jump into what we got for him. Looks like he has gone over this in 5 straight games. Definitely getting to that 5.0 line. So maybe a little bit of a sweat, but he seems to get there. In the last 10 games, he's gone over this in 80% of the games. And a guy that has potential of, racking up a lot of Ks. And he's going up against, better matchup here. Against Philly, 19th ranked with 23.3% K rate for the year. The past 30, they've even been a little bit worse. So obviously this Phillies team, I think they haven't lost a game in the postseason yet. But they're a team that hits well, but they also, rack up some Ks. So let's jump into the matchups against him. A lot of red. Obviously Real Mood 2 here, 9 at-bats, batting pretty well. He never really has a line on Prize Picks. Trey Turner, 21 at-bats with a 429 batting average. Definitely keep that in mind because we'll be looking at him a little bit later. But everyone else, decently in the red. Not too much going for him. And some K rates, 50%, 66, 50, and a few at-bats as well. So really liking Merrill Kelly as well. And yeah, that's going to be our second pick. Just jumping into the last thing here. Merrill Kelly, 10.5 Ks per 9. He just needs 5. Last 10's looking good. Last 20's looking good. Really good. 16 of the last 20 games. He's gone over this 4.5 line. And then a head-to-head, again, back in June, 7 Ks against this Phillies team. So liking Merrill Kelly as well. So double pitchers prop here for the strikeouts. But let's jump into some hitters. I hinted at him earlier. We're going to Trey Turner. He doesn't have a hits, runs, RBIs line. But he has a fantasy score line, which is fine because he can steal some bases as well. Let's jump into his specific page. I hinted again, he was hitting very well against his matchup here. Hits, runs, RBIs. They don't have a fantasy score line on Outlier, so I kind of go off the hits, runs, RBIs. Obviously, he's been absolutely killing it since the playoffs specifically. Looks like he's gone over this line in 7 straight games, so that's been awesome. He, definitely choking up on the bat and getting some, hits he might not get in the year. 80% of the last 10, loving that. Last 20, he's gone over this in 70% of the last 20. And then the head-to-head, he likes to play Philly. Looks like in the games this year, he's gone over this in 6 of the 8 games. These are all this year. Sorry, against Arizona. All 8 games he's gone, or 6 of the 8 games he's gone over this as well. So that bodes well against, going up against not only the starting pitcher, but also the bullpen. So really liking Trey Turner tonight. Again, we talked about his stolen base potential, batting .429 at 21 at bats, so very good sample size against Merrill Kelly, and 6 RBIs. So I'm liking Trey Turner to do that tonight and continue his hot streak. And then last pick here, we're going to go to Perdomo. A guy that bats kind of late in the lineup, usually 9th or 8th, with the potential of getting pulled out of that game as well, getting pinch hit for early. But we're going over his hits, runs, RBIs. And, I'll jump into his page, kind of do the talking for me here. Perdomo. Anytime I see a hits, runs, RBIs line at 0.5, you definitely got to check it out because there's so much potential to get that 1.0 line. He could be on base, and you could get walked. He doesn't even have to get a hit, and then he gets hit in on a run, gets a run right there. He could hit a sacrifice fly, gets an RBI right there, or he could rip a single. That's fine too. Any of those cases look really good. The over is at -135, so that is kind of the betting favorite here. But again, don't put too much into that. Let's more look at the stats and the history and the matchup. Last 10, he's done it in 40% of the last 10, so not the best here. But because you can see in the games he's done it, he's ripping these games. So 2, 3, 4. So really, really liking that. Last 20, it's 50%. And then if we look at 2023 as a whole, 62%. So really, really liking that as well. And then if we look at the head-to-head again, the games this year specifically, he's gone over in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He looks like he's gone over in 6 of the last 7 games. Again, that goes into he's good against the bullpen, and it doesn't really matter who's the starting pitcher for this team. He likes to play him. So, again, it is the playoffs. They're choking up on the bat, so batters are looking real nice in the playoffs. And Perdomo just needs, one of anything. I think did we check out his stats against Aaron Nola yet? We did not. So let's look at his stats against Aaron Nola. Not a lot to go off, 3 at-bats, but he does have an RBI and a hit, so that'd be 2 right there. But again, if he's solid against Aaron Nola, pretty good against his Phillies team, so meaning they're pretty good against the bullpen as well. So I'm liking Perdomo there. So that's going to kind of be the 4 picks for the video. Hopefully you get this taco in, or maybe you already got it in. But this is going to be it. Aaron Nola over 4.5 pitcher strikeouts. Definitely looking at him at 5.5. I don't love it there, but I think it's pretty solid still. Merrill Kelly over 4.5 strikeouts as well. So we got both the pitchers going over their strikeouts line. Trey Turner hitting this guy really, really well. Obviously it's tough to go, I'm betting Merrill Kelly's pitcher strikeouts, but I'm also betting Trey Turner's fantasy score. But I mean, that's going to happen. He can still collect five strikeouts while Trey Turner, hits a few balls or whatever, gets an RBI or whatever it is. That's just what's going to be when these, there's only single games. And then Perdomo, we just talked about him. Obviously, so many opportunities for him to get that 1 point, either a hit, a run, or an RBI. Liking his matchup, liking his history, specifically against the Phillies. So that's going to be the 4 here. I already submitted it, so it probably won't let me do it again. Entries because it's 25. We already did the taco. But then I kind of told you I'd do some stacking info as well. So if you don't love Nola or you don't like Kelly, I also like Nola's hits allowed line. So if you miss the taco, you could look at his hits allowed line and go over for that, and then kind of try to stack that with some batters from the Diamondbacks. So Perdomo, we obviously talked about. Marte and Walker are kind of other good ones. Their fantasy scores are really, really low. So you could look at any of these guys, Marte, Walker, Corbin Carroll, obviously huge, just been having a great rookie year altogether, but also in the playoffs he's been really, really good, and he can steal bases. The last game, I don't know why he was on first base for like 2 at-bats and just didn't even try to steal, but typically he's very aggressive on the bases as well. So if you miss this Aaron Nola taco, definitely go ahead and look at Aaron Nola's hits allowed and kind of combo it with a kind of stack of Diamondbacks players. And then if you want to go off Merrill Kelly, maybe you don't think he's going to have his best stuff today, go to the pitcher fantasy score. You can maybe go under his pitcher fantasy score. I will say I wouldn't recommend going under his pitcher fantasy score just because I kind of like this line as well. But if you're trying to stack some of these Philly hitters, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper's obviously usually like a great pick for this. Even Marsh kind of bats later in the lineup. But he bats really good against righties. He's been hot. He's gone over in like 7 of his last 10 games in terms of this total basis line at 0.5. Honestly, any of these 0.5 guys I'd look into, but that's going to do it. I kind of rambled here at the end, but Aaron Nola, Merrill Kelly, Trey Turner, and Perdomo are going to be our 4 picks for today. That's going to do it. We will drop a preseason basketball video later in the day, closer to game time. because those injury updates are so crucial for preseason. So definitely get the bell on for that and keep an eye out for it. So that's going to do it. Hopefully we make some money tonight, and peace out. Oops.